clapping. What? Be quiet, old Trixie Mattel video. I just made a science technology discovery. Okay, wait. So this is my first time trying to record on a new phone. Where's the... Hi, you're the lens. This is my first time trying to record on a new phone, and I was just sitting in my filthy, dark new room that I haven't put together yet, and I was experimenting with like how I might sit, what I might want the shot to look like, and I was pepping myself up and saying like, okay, I think I can do this, I think I can do this, and then I clapped like to try to psych myself up, and it started. I think I have like a clapper start on this new phone. Okay, wait, ready? You might be about to disappear if the science is accurate. 1, 2, 3. Nothing happened. Okay. This is gonna be a great video. Darn tootin'! Good call, past Chloe. This sure is gonna be a great video, guaranteed by me, Editing Chloe. Welcome. I'm jumping in with a quick hello at the beginning of this video, just for some context. I filmed this anti-haul about 2 weeks ago, and frankly didn't have much intention of posting it, just because I'm very new at figuring out even how this is gonna work. Like, this may not be like a super high quality, I mean, it is not a super high quality video, and you know, it's not the most current anti-haul. There are certainly already like plenty of other people on YouTube who have been posting about the products that I'm gonna be rambling about. The main reason that I'm sharing this, that I decided to edit and post this anyway, is because here, present day, Editing Chloe is in the aftermath of the Roe v. Wade legislation, bullshit, trauma, terror that has been happening in the US the last couple days. And I just need something to laugh about. And you know, again, a lot of what I talk about in terms of making YouTube videos is very much like my highest aspiration could only ever possibly be to make the kind of content that I like to watch. And I am forever in debt to the creators on this platform who take the time to make silly things for all of us to enjoy when we need a break from how hard the world is. So in the high hopes, in the lofty goal of contributing something to this here internet that is like the content that I like to enjoy when my heart is hurting, here's just 20-ish minutes, 20 or so minutes of me being kind of tipsy and rambling about some really dumb new makeup releases. And if you have it in you and would also like to look at some resources, well, I'm sure that you have either already been looking at tons of resources about steps that you can take, actions that you can take to make the world a little bit less shitty right now, or maybe as I sometimes do, you've been hiding your head in the sand a little bit just to try to, like, you know, keep your blinders on and keep putting one foot in front of the other, because you still have to fucking survive in this world, even when the world is burning as you try to survive within it. So if either you would like to look at the description box below for some links about steps that you can take if you have it in you to try to do something proactive, maybe that'll help feel a little bit better. Or if you need some mental health resources, whatever you need, there will be links in the description box below that can hopefully help. Or maybe you're just gonna watch this video and giggle a little bit with me. I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you are as okay as you can be. Let's cut back to past Chloe, see what they're up to. Okay, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Hell yeah. Huh? Hell yeah. All right, I think we're in good shape now. Well, hello there, my parasocial pals. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you very much for joining us. My name is ChloeThePayne, and I have no idea what I'm doing. It's the first video in the new apartment, and I just, for the sake of my own levity, my own desire to not be stressed and cranky right now, I'm gonna make one of the kinds of videos that just make me laugh the most and make me kind of happiest when I'm farting around watching YouTube videos, and that's an anti-haul. Wow. It is dark in here. Okay, I think I can say everything that I want to say without rambling too terribly bad. Yeah. And honestly, I don't think I'm ever even gonna put this here video on those there interwebs, because this is just to make me laugh and to make me smile. I really like watching makeup YouTube. I'm only in the last few years started kind of getting into being a wearer and enjoyer of makeup. It's been a fun, unexpected kind of avenue of like creativity and gender exploration and expression these last few years, and I'm having a really good time with it. And I really only started to get into like watching beauty YouTube in the last few years, like maybe just in the very beginning, like, 2016, 17-ish, starting to kind of get into it. And I never thought that I would feel inclined to sit and make a video like this. But the two big things that have inspired me to sit and ramble for a little bit of time on this evening. First of all, I've only recently stumbled down the rabbit hole of the types of YouTubers whose anti-haul style is sort of a very specific, like, anti-consumerism, anti-materialism, fight against the makeup goblin within you that maybe sometimes wants to buy more and more of the shiny things, but you want to try to provide some, accountability and encouragement that, like, we don't need to buy all the shiny things just because they're shiny. And that's really, I get a lot out of that type of content, as opposed to it just being the type of content that is about, like, roasting shitty, stupid makeup releases. Which, don't get me wrong, that's also a wonderful thing to do. But creators like Abby Williamson, and of course Abby Williamson always credits in her anti-hauls that she was very influenced by Kimberly Clark, is sort of like the originator in the beauty YouTube space of like anti-consumerism, anti-haul content. So I really like to watch that kind of thing, not only because it makes me laugh, but it also gives me food for thought. Nom nom. And just helps me counteract the, materialism, consumerist tendency in myself. So sometimes when I'm thinking anti-haul thoughts, or like when I've been, tempted to make a video like this sometimes in the past, it's a little bit because of the, you tell yourself that it's practical because I want to talk myself out of getting these things. So that is partially what I want to do right now. But also, I gotta be honest, following trend mood on Instagram, some of the shit that's happening right now is just the most guffaw-worthy, laughable, holy moly. Oh my goodness. So, there are a couple things that I already screenshotted, and I'll talk about those just before I get too distracted, but then maybe we'll also just scroll through trend mood and see what else has happened in the last couple days since I looked at it. And maybe we'll have some new discoveries to enjoy together. Life is an adventure. Who's to say? Who's to say? So I'll try and shape this slightly in terms of getting the really kind of negative things out of the way first, shall we? Let's do that. Let's try to end on the positive notes. So the most negative of all the possible things that I could have to say. The goddamn Kardashians. Can we just stop with the Kardashians? I don't even have like any super specific thoughts about the most recent launches specifically. There's a Kylie BFF collab with Stacy. I'm a 36-year-old crusty, so I'm not really up to date with like who all the most current, fun, fabulous influencers are. So I'm not familiar with who exactly that person is. And I don't even have like any specific thoughts about like these products, this collab, that highlighter, whatever it is. And similarly with the fucking, what's the new Kim skin shit that she's coming out with? These like very artfully taken drapey pictures of her looking wet in a, very strategically ripped little loincloth. I don't even have any specific thoughts about like these products or the things that they're trying to advertise at us very specifically right now from the top of the mountain where the Kardashian dynasty throws poorly made products down at the masses. I just
have never understood why, you know, I feel like a lot of the time when I hear people in anti-hauls talk about KKW or Kylie Cosmetics, it's from the point of view of actually like trying to take the product seriously. And I feel like a lot of the most common criticisms that I hear are that it's very first thought, that it's very bland, that it's just a lot of neutrals, that it's of course got consistency issues. You know, I was like just starting to kind of get into watching beauty YouTube, like at the time when everybody was starting to realize that, like, you know, what the hell were we all thinking by being so obsessed with like Kylie lip kits back in the day and what shitty products those actually were. So I feel like there's been a lot of, you know, discourse over time about, you know, questioning the quality of the products and criticizing the fact that a lot of the products just seem to be very, lacking in effort, right? Like it seems very much like the actual Kardashians themselves are not at all involved creatively and have no stake in the thing. They're just willing to slap their name on whatever the product is and reap the rewards from shilling the shit to the buyers, right? I don't understand why we can't just like get more to a point of coming right out and saying, fuck the Kardashians. Like, why? It feels so surreal to me when anybody tries to take seriously the concept of buying second-rate products of any kind from social media billionaires. I just don't understand, like, why anybody wants to give their money to skincare by Kim or cosmetics by Kylie or anything that comes out of that dynasty. I appreciate having been able to be a viewer, a fly on the wall of like beauty YouTube shit over the course of the last few years, because it has been interesting to see the conversation, you know, shift in different ways about like, you know, things have really changed from how in the very beginning people took their products at face value and took their, you know, credibility as people in the beauty space at face value. And it's been interesting to see that shift and change. But I'm waiting for the shift and change that goes more in the direction of like, you know, billionaires are evil and like there's no reason to give these people your money. It's just so undeniable that like now the market is so saturated and there are so many different places where you can shop for even silly celebrity types of skincare. Go instead of giving the fucking money to like KKW skincare, you could even just like, I feel like you'd be better tossing that money at like one of the other innumerable versions of like celebrity skincare that's been launched recently. Give it to fucking, isn't there like new Fenty Beauty that is trying to launch like all-in-one skincare that is kind of a shill? Isn't there like Scarlett Johansson skincare? Isn't there fucking like Jennifer Lopez skincare? Even any more of that, like it's all just useless. It's all just, like you can get good skincare at the drugstore. If what you need is skincare, you should visit a dermatologist and get like something catered to your actual needs. There's no reason to give fucking Kim Kardashian any of your money, let alone for something that like the market is so saturated now. There's so many more options. If you want to have some sort of like imagined luxury experience of telling yourself that you are enjoying a skincare product that is like catered by some sort of celebrity that you admire or whose beauty you want to emulate, if it's something about like the aspirational side of it, that you want the association of like celebrity or fame or a beautiful famous person that you admire, there are so many even other options for that, let alone the fact that there are actually many more like reputable, qualified options. Like you could go be on skincare TikTok and get like better recommendations for actual skincare. And if you want fucking like pink and blue palettes and highlighters and neutral, the kind of shit that Kylie Cosmetics has been shilling all this time, there are so many other places to go for that. It's not 2015 anymore, where there were only so many products that everybody knew were reliable. And so you felt like the Kylie lip kit was the only way to like get a certain type of cosmetic experience. The market is so saturated. Just go on TikTok and search for like dupes of, if you're like looking at this particular stupid, passable, average looking Kylie collab palette or the highlighter or something, if there is some part of you that is like interested in it, if it actually fills like a genuine gap in your makeup collection and you would be considering buying something like that, go on the internet and search product name dupe and find a dupe for it that maybe comes from an indie brand or a Black-owned brand or a queer-owned brand, or even just ColourPop. Like, you would even just be better off just going to ColourPop, and like they have such a huge collection of very inexpensively made, somewhat consistently produced products. I just don't know, it makes me feel like I'm in a weird surreal dreamscape when I'm looking at social media or watching anti-hauls and people are just talking about the Kardashian products, the skincare and the cosmetics, as if they're not a joke, as if we shouldn't all just be, you know, storming the barricades and putting the heads of billionaires on pikes. Maybe I've gone a little far. But yeah, just fuck the Kardashians and don't give the Kardashians your money. It feels weird to have to offer that encouragement to anyone, but let's go in a slightly more lighthearted direction, shall we? Velveeta. This nail polish looks weird. This nail polish looks weird as hell. And, you know, it's done its marketing and PR job very well, which is that it's getting a lot of buzz. It's getting a lot of people already talking about it on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere. It's just such a gimmick. It's just such a weird. What are some of the other ones that this makes us all think of? The like bologna face mask and the like Flamin' Hot Cheetos lip scrub. Like and to say nothing, of course, of all the food themed palettes that have become such a trendy gimmick these last few years. Like, I get it. We get it. Like, it's a way to get eyes on your product. It's a way to get people talking about the product, whether or not it's good press or bad press. It's a way to get people talking about it. And that's great. And I can't, I guess, begrudge anyone the, you know, simple pleasure of scrolling through Instagram and seeing something outlandish and getting a chuckle out of it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I just wish I hadn't scrolled down far enough on the ad to learn that it's cheese scented. Why did I let myself get that information? My life is worse now because I know that. And I did that to myself. I played myself. So yeah, moral of the story, I don't think anyone should buy this, but I definitely think that a lot of people will. Just so here, not to try to be just like the spoil sport who just like, you know, tries to make people feel bad about ever buying things. Obviously, we all buy things. There's nothing wrong with like having been raised in a capitalist society and having a part of your serotonin that is fired off by, you know, the pleasure of hitting the button and ordering the thing or picking up the thing when you're in the store and putting it in your cart. Like there's, you know, retail therapy is a thing. That's absolutely valid. I won't begrudge any of us that. I would just, something that I've been trying to practice and that I urge if you're listening to this and a similar thought it runs through your mind of, you know, how often do you buy the thing just for the chuckle, because as soon as you see it, it seems so outlandish and it's such a hilarious gimmick that you can't wait to take it home and make a funny post about it or show it to the people that you live with or wear it out once and have it be a ridiculous, amazing, entertaining conversation piece. And then once you've had that initial experience with it, it is trash. It's not something that you're ever going to continue to get use or joy out of. It's something that is just going to take up clutter in your home. It's something that is just going to gather dust in your collection. I've been trying to practice I'm trying to flex the muscle more often, strengthen the muscle of, instead of buying it and having it be clutter in your life and supporting financially the machine that gave the stupid thing in existence in the first place, instead of putting your money towards it, just share the experience from afar like this. Like, I think that I am getting more joy rambling about the dumb product than I would ever get from actually buying the dumb product. I truly wish that I could unknow from my brain. I wish I could take my brain out of my head and go and scrub with bleach the part of my brain that knew that it was cheese scented, because it's just like making me gag a little bit even just to imagine what that aroma is like. Just, it's gonna be so chemically. It's gonna be so, you're gonna open the lid and it's gonna smell like nail polish, but it's also gonna smell like cheese. And just go buy some Velveeta. Just go buy some Velveeta. Velveeta is already like a very manufactured, artificial, chemical orange thing. Like, just go buy some Velveeta, and like, you could even go like the full like weird social media post route with it and like dip your little fingies in Velveeta and like, you know, talk about how weird it smells and like, you know, screenshot it next to this stupid trend mood post about it. Oh my God, just, I can't believe, oh my God, like my life is worse even just having had to internalize the knowledge and imagine the experience. Okay, what else? The last thing that really motivated me to want to take the plunge and actually sit and make a little video was the fact that there's a new ABH palette coming out. And I just can't begin to express the nostalgia that it made me feel. Like, back in the day, I only ever really paid attention to YouTube in terms of like makeup content. I wasn't really on social media, and I certainly wasn't following things like Trend Mood. Like, I wasn't keeping up to date with new releases other than what beauty YouTubers were talking about. You know, if it wasn't being discussed by like Raw Beauty Christie and James Charles and Nikki Tutorials and Jay Kissa, then I didn't know about it. So all that just to say, the nostalgia that I feel for the height of Anastasia Beverly Hills in the YouTube beauty community, it just warms the cockles of my heart. And the following experience then of like the clusterfuck that has been Anastasia over the course of the last few years with like Subculture and Norvina, and just the frequency of releases and the inconsistency. To clarify, I should back up. I have never used any ABH product, but it was really fun to watch everybody be so excited about Modern Renaissance and Soft Clam. Soft Clam. And I know rationally that like there is nothing revolutionary about there being a new ABH palette coming out right now, but I just wanted to like make a little video to like memorialize for myself the intersection of you know, the past few years I've been watching videos, and now I just have like my little tiny creative corner of the internet where I have a channel and there's an ABH palette coming out, and I get to sit in front of a camera and be like nostalgic and excited about an ABH palette. Time. Am I right? Time be like. And all that to say, this looks like such a mediocre release. It's weird to have the opportunity to reflect on how the ABH hype was so present and in such a sincere way for so long. And now I feel like my initial response to seeing this post and learning about this release was definitely one of underwhelm, not only because of the reputation that ABH has kind of tarnished for itself over the years, but also because like this release itself, this palette, this color story is very blah. So like, I feel like even if Anastasia had never sort of had the bad history with consistency issues, which again, I've never personally used any of the products, but having just enjoyed the long and storied history of the reviews and watching people talk about it, it does seem like even if the consistency issues hadn't been there that everyone else has talked about, just this is a surprising color story, isn't it? Like, not only for ABH, who like, you know, the majority of their like color story in the past, and like their customer, their sort of like, you know, imagined customer that they seem to market to is more of a brights and shimmers and like traditionally feminine golds and pinks and springtime color stories and products. And especially then, of course, with all the fucking Norvina shit, like even trying to market to a customer even younger than that and like, you know, bright and iridescent and stuff. This is just like a weird time for a release like this. I feel like if one wanted to try to take this at face value, if anything, I would think that this is more of a fall release, right? Which, don't get me wrong, I'm a fall bitch. We're going to be spending a lot of time together here on this YouTube channel in the fall. Don't you worry. Just you wait and you you betcha. Oh, you betcha. Yeah, like fall experiences are definitely my favorite types of like color stories and experiences and products and all that. But I know that not everyone in like the makeup market is like me in terms of being a very fall ass bitch who wants it to be autumn for 11 months out of the year. It's a strange time to release a color story like this. And I not only that a lot of the other like reviews and comments and stuff that I'm seeing of other people, the kitty is outside. Hi. Do you see the kitty? Oh my God. Hi. Hi, kitty. That's the neighbor's cat. All right, maybe I should go check on the cat situation in my yard. I am yeah, gonna go do that. BRB. This has been a very fun night. There's a kitty outside. Okay. All right. What else are we rambling about? And so the other thing, I felt very vindicated, first of all, by the fact that a lot of the other like responses from like people in the, you know, commenters and reviewers and consumers such as myself, seem to all have a lot of the same reaction. Reaction A being, well, this is kind of a bland palette even for the fall, and it's not fall. So, and then reaction 2 being that so many of the different responses that I've been looking at completely took the words out of my head about that goddamn little pop of lavender. Just, it really seems to have no place in this palette. And it's so funny because, like, you know, traditionally it's the neutrals with a pop of blue, it's the neutrals with a pop of red. And those are colors, you know, the neutrals with a pop of green even. Those are colors that you can kind of convince yourself can maybe have a slightly easier time being worked into, like a palette that is largely otherwise like neutrals and browns and blacks and lighter like blending shades. But for this to be a palette that is mostly somewhat like dark, warm shades, and then have this one pastel moment going on. And I felt very, very vindicated that other people's response echoed my own concern, which was, why the hell did they put that pop of light purple in with the rest of that, like, you know, warm, shimmery, kind of dark collection of autumnal colors? I felt very vindicated. Wag my tail. And, you know, what is a nice thing I can say about it? One of the main reasons that I definitely always felt I was sort of outside of all of the Anastasia fervor and enjoyment over the years is I've never really warmed up to traditionally like feminine or girly, gender is an illusion, but, you know, packaging that really leans into like bright pink, fluffy, traditions, all the Anastasia packaging that was always like, you know, pink, kind of velvety and suede and glitter. Not only was that always the kind of packaging that I would never really like, you know, it's not really my cup of tea, just personally, but also it always seemed like it got so filthy so quickly or like fell apart very quickly. I feel like when I watch people do declutters, they, you know, are going through their ABH collections that they've cultivated over the years. And it's always a dusty ass, really nasty, crushed looking modern Renaissance palette with the, like, you know, covered in dust and stained to hell. and it's a soft glam package that is falling apart, and like that all the suede faux fabric, whatever that is, has gotten like really chipped and like, you know, pulled at over the years. And it's always one of those glittery ones. I don't remember if it's Amrezy or Jackiana or whichever that would have like gems falling off of it, or like scratches in the like, you know, glittery exterior of the packaging. And I will say, I really like the packaging on the exterior of this palette. I think that the shade of forest green is really nice and soothing, and it looks like a nice, hard, durable ASMR. The packaging looks great. There, I said something nice about it. That's great.
Oh my god, I'm almost done editing, but just I'm reviewing this part and I forgot that I ranted about that. And it's just so taking me back to like, I love watching anti-hauls and I love watching declutters. I find declutters to also be a very similar sort of like soothing, relatable, organizational, and just like fun to like hear what other makeup people have to say about like their collections. And I swear in like every video, in like every declutter, there is some guru or just a layperson consumer who is holding an old, dingy, the crusty, velvety corners are falling off soft glam palette, and like facing a deep internal struggle over whether to just declutter it and move on with their damn lives. And I love both responses to it. I love when it's either that someone like has a real sentimental place. I start to hear people talk about like having an archive, like just a history hall of fame for really older palettes like that they may not even really reach for, but that they still have like just a soft sentimental place for in their hearts, or they keep them because they have like a collector's mentality of not wanting to break up a set. So I love people, I fully respect the choice that people make either to hold on to them like for those reasons, or I just as much get joy and satisfaction out of somebody who picks up the old, like Carly Bybel. I realized that the one I was ranting about that has like the jewels that sometimes like fall off or get really dingy looking, it's the Carly Bybel palette. I love when somebody picks up like an old modern Renaissance that's falling apart and dusty, nasty looking, or an old Carly Bybel, and the second that they put it up in front of the camera, they say, and it's time to let this one go. And it just brings me a lot of joy. Makeup is fun, and it's fun to ramble about makeup with people.
What else? You know, the fucking Jurassic Park collection.
A mediocre makeup product with a velociraptor stamped on the outside of it.
And the Coca-Cola fucking shit also. Fucking Lilo and Stitch. Fucking Lilo and Stitch. You know, it's, a series of like perfectly mediocre, duplicatable makeup products that have really cute packaging, and that maybe you have like a really nostalgic connection to. You know, who are any of us to begrudge ourselves that tiny amount of joy in this stupid world that you might get from, you know, being able to like to make the intentional purchasing decision to say to yourself, oh my god, even though I know that beauty blender is going to become filthy, it comes with an adorable little surfboard for me to rest my beauty blender upon, and I know that it will get filthy, and I know that this is not necessary money for me to spend, but I'm gonna get it, and it's gonna have a treasured place on my vanity where I will love it and squeeze it and touch it and sing little Lilo and Stitch songs every single time I pick it up, and that will bring me so much joy. That's great. Is my thing still recording? Hell yeah. Okay. I think the last thing I'm going to talk about that just brought me such a great deal of joy is fucking the Julian and Simply Nailogical collaboration. Never been an avid consumer of Simply Nailogical's content, but what I have seen, I have enjoyed greatly. And it just seems like such a perfect collaboration to work with Julian. And I have absolutely been an avid consumer, an avid fan of Julian's content. You know, rest in peace, Jenna Marbles. I'm just over here being a 36-year-old lady and living my best damn life, enjoying Julian from afar. Watching this, you know, presenting straight cis guy get more and more into nails over the last few years has been such a joy. And it's just, you know, as a queer person, it's always really, really fun to see just like the little tiny ways in which traditional like toxic masculinity, girls do this and boys do this bullshit, can be like slowly chipped away at and like, you know, made less taboo to talk about. So I'm super thrilled for both Julian and Christine. This is a match made in heaven. The products themselves look amazing. I spent a good deal of time. This is, you know, me wrapping the anti-haul in like a positive way of saying like, so I just ragged on a bunch of shit that I think is dumb, and here's a nice thing to try to end it on a positive note. And you know, part of why I like to include that joy of just like sometimes it's fun to buy things and to want to buy things in something like an anti-haul is because, you know, sometimes the purpose of like an anti-haul and like reminding ourselves that we don't always need to buy every single thing that makes us happy, you know, makeup generally, nail polish generally, beauty products generally are very aesthetically pleasing and bright and colorful and beautiful and shiny and make you happy to look at. That's what they're designed for. It doesn't mean that you need to buy all of them. I absolutely did spend a significant portion of the drop day watching all the videos about these different colors and hanging out on the shop site and potentially calculating how much it would cost for me to put a different few things in my cart. But then I'm able to stop and say to myself that I already have like nail polishes that I'm very happy with for like, you know, how often I paint my nails. And I think that it's really nice to be able to support the artists that you believe in with your dollar when it makes sense to, like when there's actually like, you know, a gap in your life that would be filled by getting a certain product. But I think it's also really important to remember that like, just because you're a fan of a creator doesn't mean that you're like obligated to spend money on their stuff when they have opportunities for you to spend money on their stuff. Like there's lots of different ways for you to support the creators that you like, you know. That's I think that both Julian and Christine will be fine without my $30. And I think that me, you know, watching all the different really fun release videos that they've done, I'll post a couple of them, a couple of the links below. You know, Julian's nice big video. And then it's been so fun to be on the internet the last like week or so since the launch, when they're also like continuing to release all these really fun little collab moments between their two different streams and like, you know, different little fun challenges and shorts. Like me consuming all of that content and like being excited for them on social media is another way of supporting them that doesn't involve me spending money that I don't necessarily have on products that I don't necessarily need. And, you know, then that just means that if I do eventually decide consciously, intentionally, that I am going to spend some money on some of those nail polishes or something else to support the collaboration, or I end up on like Julian's merch website, where I've definitely also spent some time in my imagination putting like, you know, a cool hat in my cart, but not actually buying it. If I do eventually end up doing that, it'll be after having taken time and consideration, instead of just impulsively, you know, putting it on a credit card the moment that the launch happens, without actually taking the time to, you know, it's okay to get excited about the thing and like enjoy the entertainment value in like, you know, consuming the videos and the reviews and the you know, streams about the thing. And then let some of that fervor die down and say to yourself, well, it was really fun to watch that and I'm really happy for those guys. I don't necessarily need that product, but that was really cool. Like that's okay to do. And that doesn't make someone any like, you know, less real of a fan or something. I think that's it. This has been a very random time. Okay, let's stop rambling. I'm really glad that we did this. This was fun, and I may not ever share this with the interwebs, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of spending this time, and I appreciate the opportunity to have sat and rambled. If you enjoy mediocre pictures on Instagram or TikTok videos of the misadventures of a cool 36-year-old cool kid who is cool, or if you like gay memes and rambly things on Tumblr, you can hang out and be my friend on all the social media places. I am at ChloeThePayne on all of those things. I am also available for all of your commission songwriting needs. You can send any business inquiries to me via email, ContactChloeThePayne@gmail.com. you can check out the description box below for more information about me. And if you're having a tough day, you are also welcome to check out some information that I always try to list in terms of mental health resources or little action items for things that you can do to make the world slightly less shitty if you have it in you to take a look at that. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bye. End card. I'm hanging out here for 20 seconds so that there's something for an end card to go on top of. While singing the end card song, we made a video. Ooh, now I can go back to watching my Trixie video. Re-watching old Trixie Mattel videos for endorphins.